Good day, everyone. Today we'll be talking on well intervention in a training session that has been marked to educate all of us. I would like us to take a moment to focus on something that is at the very heart of the oil and gas industry, and that has to do with safety. Although this training is virtual, the principles we are discussing directly relate to high-risk website environments where safety is not negotiable. Every technique, every tool, and every operation in well intervention carries its own hazards, from pressure control to mechanical risks, from chemical handling to human factor. Remember this golden rule during well intervention and any other related operation. And what is this golden rule? No job is so urgent that it cannot be done safely. During this course, I want you to always keep 3 safety pillars in mind. And what are these pillars? 1, personal responsibility. Personal responsibility. Whether in the classroom or on the rig, safety begins with you. Think about how your actions or inactions may affect others. This is all about personal responsibility. Then the second one, stop work authority. If at any point you notice unsafe conditions or unclear procedures as designed in a program, you have the right and the duty to stop such operations. It saves lives. Number 3, amongst the 3 pillars, safety pillars, continuous learning. The industry evolves, and so must our safety culture. Every lesson you take from this training must be applied with a safety-first mindset. I encourage you to visualize yourself not just as learners today, but as future supervisors, engineers, and specialists, just the way I am, who will be making real-time safety decisions that would impact lives, assets, and the environment. As we progress through this program, let safety guide how you absorb and apply knowledge. Always ask yourself these 3 things further. What could go wrong? How can I prevent it? And what's my role in ensuring safety? If you build this mindset now, it will follow you to the field where it matters most. So let's begin this training with the right attitude. Safety first, learning second, and operations third. Because if we don't get safety right, nothing else matters. Thank you, and let's get started. You are welcome to this comprehensive 12-week training program on oil well intervention, and I'm delighted to have you here as we begin a journey that will equip us with the knowledge and confidence to handle real-world well intervention tasks. This program is designed especially for young graduates and early career professionals who want to bridge the gap between theory and field practice. And by the end of this training, you will not only understand the concepts of slackline, electric line, coil tubing, and rigless walkover operations, you will also be ready to apply them with minimal induction from your potential employers or your employers. Each week, we will explore a specific area of well intervention. Because we progress from the fundamentals to advanced case studies and modern technologies, ensuring that you develop a strong foundation as well as practical insights. Here's how the training will flow. Each session will begin with a theory overview, followed by tools, equipment, and methods. Then we will explore practical applications and case studies. And finally, it will end with a summarized overview of the course itself and quiz to test your understanding. Therefore, I will encourage you to sit back and follow through. So let's get started together. And by the end of these 12 weeks, you will be equipped with the skills and confidence and professional edge that will set you apart from other fresh graduates that have not been privileged to go through this kind of a course. The same thing applies to enthusiasts in the oil and gas industry. Even asset owners, they will benefit if they go through this course. We're starting with week 1, and we will not be using a reading method. We will be using a study method whereby every detail will be touched, though will be within the ambit of basic. This whole course is in 3 parts: the basic, the intermediate, and the advanced. But we are very concerned with the basic, which gives you a very strong foundation in the well intervention services program. Week 1 is introduction to oil well intervention, basic concepts, scope, and importance. What is the learning objectives? To understand the purpose and importance of oil well intervention, differentiate between rigless and rig-based interventions, identify basic intervention methods like the slackline, E-line, coil tubing, appreciate safety and economic of all well intervention. Introduction. Oil wells are dynamic assets. Production and integrity change over time. Well intervention refers to any operation carried out on a producing or non-producing well to restore, improve, or manage performance without drilling a new well. Interventions are critical for restoring productivity, such as removing scales, sand, and debris, enhancing production. That's where we'll start talking about removing damages in a near wellbore through stimulation or reperforation, maintaining integrity, that is, sealing leaks, tubing repairs, then well surveillance, such as production, logging, reservoir monitoring, and characterization. We have two categories of well intervention, and the categories falls under the light well intervention, which is usually the rigless. It's performed without a drilling or walkover rig. Uses slick line, electric line, coil tubing, or light vessels. Quick, cost-effective, and less intrusive. Example of task that requires a rigless activity: shifting of sleeves, setting of plugs, acid stimulation, well logging. This now brings us to the second category, the heavy well intervention, which of course is the walkover mainly. It requires a walkover or a drilling rig. Involves removing or replacing tubulars and downhole completion materials and equipment. It's more expensive relatively and time consuming. Example is tubing replacement, sidetrack, and packer removal. Methods of well intervention. We're having, like I said before, which was under the rigless, slick line. We'll be talking much on the rigless well intervention. Now, there are a couple of things that you can use this slick line to do. And things like setting of plugs, pulling of plugs, shifting of sleeves, fishing. Slick line can do those light tasks. Electric line, otherwise known as the E-line. Logging, perforation, setting tools using electric signals. Coil tubing, pumping fluids, cleanouts, milling, nitrogen lifting. Then the walkover, the rig-based. The recompletion, tubing replacement, casing replacement, heavy repairs. If you check this table, there's a marked difference between rigless and rig-based interventions. Just take your time, read through. Like the rigless intervention, which the slick line, E-line, coil tubing falls under, they usually relatively low in cost relative to the rig-based, which are higher in cost. And the time for deployment and demobilization of each of the methods, they still differ. For rigless, the days are shorter. For rig-based, days are longer, which could span into weeks, months. Then the kind of task that they handle, usually for rigless, they are light jobs. Rig-based, they are heavy repairs and recompletion. What about the risk level? The rig-based have more of hazards related operations than the rigless operation. Why wells require intervention? Why do we conduct intervention? Why do asset owners prefer to do well intervention rather than drilling a new rig? When you have a decline in production due to scale, wax, sand, water, gas breakthrough, you definitely would want to work on them, carry out maintenance on them, and this is only possible when you intervene. using either of the methods, rig-based or rigless. Mechanical failures such as packer leaks, valve issues, tubing leaks, subsurface safety valves leaks, and so many light issues. Reservoir management, water shutoff, gas lift optimization, then surveillance. Like I said, we usually run BHP test to get the pressure profile as at when they first drilled the well compared to what they are now having. All these are reasons why they intervene in a well. Now, as you going through this slide, at the intermediate level, you would be required to watch the video clips showing slick line, E-line, coil tubing, and rig workover operations. And you now be able to know the remarkable differences as enumerated in the previous slide. Even as at that, if you're on this slide, you do well to contact me through my WhatsApp to get the videos based on this slide. What are the key challenges in well intervention? We usually come in contact with high temperature, high pressure environments, deep water and remote locations, complex well designs, safety and regulatory compliance, like from the DPRs. What are the technological trends in these well intervention procedures? We now, compared to those days, have digital well monitoring, real-time data acquisitions, a lot of advanced downhole tools, evolving. Automation and robotics are things you now see in well intervention, making it simpler. A case study, like I said, in each of the weeks, case studies will be reviewed. One of such, a producing well drops from 5,000 barrels of oil per day to 1,500 barrels of oil per day due to sand accumulation and some associated issues. Slick line fishing retrieved sand bailing tool, though it was unsuccessful because of the sand that is on top of the sand bailer. They now deploy coil tubing, design a coil tubing clean-out program with polymer involved, after which they now nitrogen lift. At the end of the exercise, we were able to gain some barrels of oil per day by restoring the well back to 4,800 barrels of oil per day, close enough to the design production. What is the lesson here? Correct intervention selection is for cost effectiveness rather than going to drill a new well, like we said. Having said this, we've almost coming to the end of this training, and you would be going through these quiz questions, and you time yourself. You have to cheat. You time yourself such that for 10 minutes, go through the questions and honestly answer them. Number one is to define well intervention. Mention two differences between rigless and rig-based intervention. List three reasons why wells require intervention. The assignments you will do within the week, because this training, this week one, is for this first module is for this whole week, 1 week. You write a one-page note comparing slickline and coil tubing in terms of scope and application, cost as well. So when you do this, you submit to me to my WhatsApp contact in the last slide that will be shown to you. In summary, well intervention is critical for productivity and well integrity. It is categorized as light or heavy. Slick line, A-line, and coil tubing are the main rigless methods. Workover is required for major, mechanical, and recompletion. Having said this now brings us to the last point of this training module. I'll say thank you for your participation in today's introductory session. We explored what oil well intervention is already, why it's important, and how it helps extend well life, ensuring safety and maximize production. Next week, we'll move into well completion and intervention fundamentals, where we will look closely at how wells are designed and completed, and why that knowledge is crucial for successful oil well intervention. So my contacts are there. I'm the MD for Every Oil Well Services Nigeria Limited. And for model answers to the quiz question, like I said before, send a WhatsApp message to the phone number below. That's my email address. So when I get your answers to that quiz question, I will now send you the model answer. Thank you, and God bless you.